Thank you. Hello, and welcome to the Insurance Apprentice. I'm your host, Simon Coleman from SHA. This episode is brought to you by Auto & General, who've been providing car, home, business, and life insurance products to South Africans for over 3 decades. This week's challenges have been presented by Protoshare, Auto & General's holding company, and will focus on solutions to address the critical need for cover against future pandemics aimed specifically at small to medium-sized businesses in the hospitality sector. In the previous episodes, we've seen over 50 insurance hopefuls take their shot at becoming the Insurance Apprentice of 2022. And here we are, down to just 12. In this episode, we increase the premium and push up the terms and conditions for those who wish to become the next ambassador of the short-term insurance industry. We introduce a grueling challenge, whilst our in-studio judges join me in separating the best from the rest. Let's welcome our top 12. Welcome back, contestants.
Thank you. Hello.
Thank you. Hi, Simon.
I trust you've all studied up on the material that's been provided to you.
Yes, done our best.
John, you're obviously going to use your veteran status to accelerate through these next few stages.
Yes, I'll for sure.
Or are you planning on coming back again next season?
I wish I could, but unfortunately, due to the age limit.
Oh, you're hitting the upper level of the age group. Anyway, good luck to you. Katuchelo, you're looking distinctly presidential today. Are you going to be delivering some bad news to us in our family meeting?
Not today.
Let me guess, no more open-toed sandals and roast chicken at Woolworths.
One of those days.
Yeah, one of those life-saving measures that kept us safe during lockdown. Anyway, best of luck to you, Katuchelo. Molatelo,
Hi, Simon.
why is there additional pressure on you today rather than the other contestants?
Because of Auto & General.
Because your actual employer has set the task, and I've been told that you're out of a job if you get it wrong.
Oh gosh, my fingers are crossed. I'm going to do my best to represent well.
Okay, no, best of luck to you. All right, so once again, congratulations to all of you for making it to this stage of the competition. But there's only one vacancy for the Insurance Apprentice, and so the battle continues. Now, before the tussling begins, here's a little reminder of what one of you could be taking home.
This year's winner will walk away with a package prize worth 70,000 Rand from Lloyd's of London, 20,000 Rand in cash prizes from Tracker and the Invuya Institute of Learning, and access to a coveted Leadership Development Masterclass from Peyton Personnel. They will also receive an all-new iPad Air from Genesis, a professional photo shoot from ARG, as well as a personalized hamper from Santam. And lastly, the Insurance Institute of South Africa is sponsoring the Winners' Conference fee to attend the African Insurance Exchange Conference, taking place virtually and live at Sun City in July.
Christelle,
Yes, Simon.
glad to see you haven't gone fishing on us.
Not yet, Simon. After it's all done, said and done, I'll go.
After you've won this championship, you're off fishing.
Definitely.
Cuddle up with a serial killer.
You want to come?
I'm no serial killer, but sure.
I can teach you fishing.
Oh, fishing, not killing.
No, I don't know how to do that.
No, then I'm in, for sure.
Great.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into it. It's time for Rapid Risk. In Rapid Risk, our contestants will be asked 10 multiple choice questions. For every correct answer, they'll be awarded 6 points, which will of course move them up the leaderboard. The first person to correctly answer scores 4 additional bonus points. The contestant with the lowest score will see their hopes of becoming an insurance celebrity disappear faster than the profits of a sanitizer manufacturer at the end of a pandemic. All right, contestants, Are you ready for rapid risk?
Yes.
Yeah.
How much more
Yes.
Yes.
All right, let's do this. Your first question. When was Auto and General established? Was it A, 1990, B, 1985, C, 1982, or D, was it in 1993? Only one of those answers is correct. The correct option being B, 1985. 8 of you got that correct. But those critical bonus points going to Molatelo. That's what I like. A little bit of excitement straight out
My
of the
job is
starting
on the
blocks.
line here. My
Yes.
job is on the line.
Okay, so you're not getting fired immediately. Well done, Molatelo. Looking at your boss in the corner here, you're safe. And well done on getting those points. All right, your next question. Auto and General launched a new product during COVID for Zoom boomers working from home. It allows clients who are driving less to receive a discount on their car insurance. What is the name of that product? Was it A, Young at Heart, B, Better Car, C, Coffee, or D, Driver Rewards? Your time is up. The correct answer was C, Coffee, and not one of you got that correct. Molatelo,
I am not here.
just remind me where you work again.
I'm not here. I think the signal is really bad.
Molatelo is gone. Guys, we're losing
I
Molatelo.
can't hear you.
Maybe she went for a coffee. Priya didn't even bother. Priya, what was your strategy there? I guess it's better to not be wrong, right?
Yeah, no, I don't know what happened, Simon.
Okay, so nobody gets a point there. Pretty shocking. Your next question. When does business interruption cover kick in? Is it A, when employees cannot return to the premises? B, after the value of assets lost has been determined? C, when there is a potential crisis looming? Or D, after the loss event? Lock the answer in. The correct answer, of course, was D, after the loss event. 10 of you got that correct. And Katuchelo takes away those amazing bonus points, which shoots him up the leaderboard. Well done, Katuchelo.
Thank you.
Remind me what you do. Oh, you're a claims negotiator.
Yes.
Not involved with business interruption?
Only on the smaller side, on the small ones,
Okay.
not on the bigger ones.
SME business. All right, well done to you for getting those critical points. Your next question. Contingent business interruption insurance is most valuable to companies that A, need adequate water and electricity supply to the business premises, B, manufacture specialized equipment that they use to produce goods for their own business, C, need unique parts, supplies, or services in order to do business, or D, have employees on site at the premises. The correct answer was C, need unique parts, supplies, or services in order to do business. And all of you got that answer correct. Well done. But fastest finger first, Masechaba. Hey, well done, Masechaba.
Thank you.
Bringing in some of that experience from last season.
The fingers have warmed up.
I think you told me you spent quite a lot of time working on business interruption claims during lockdown. Is that correct?
Yes, to date, I continue to do so.
Okay, so you had an unfair advantage there, and perhaps this task plays right into your hands today.
We hope so.
All right. Well done. Well done to all of you for getting it right, but especially Masechaba for being first. All right, next question. Which benefit was Auto and General the first in the industry to offer in the early 2000s? Was it A, the excess buster, B, assist benefits, C, the cashback bonus, or D, inflated premiums? All right, get those answers in. The correct answer was C, cashback bonus. There were 6 correct answers there. And the fastest correct response, I should say, was Christelle. Well done, Christelle.
Finally, thank you.
That actually puts you at the top of the leaderboard, Christelle. So please remember, contestants, it's important to get the bonus points, but also equally important that you get the correct answers consistently, as that will automatically move you up the leaderboard. But congratulations to you, Christelle. Molatelo?
I'm hoping that.
I have to pick on you today.
No.
This is your company. So what we can establish thus far.
So wait.
Yes. I'm waiting.
Truth be told, this is the only question that I got wrong. With the previous one, I literally made a mistake. I did. I really
So
made a
wait,
mistake.
hang on a second. What is the difference between getting a question wrong and making a mistake?
I made a mistake on the app. So because I'm so nervous and all this pressure, I was just like, yeah.
So was this, you got this one wrong, or did you make a mistake?
I mean, this one I got wrong. My job is on the line, so you can imagine it's already the
I'm going
apprentice.
to keep reminding you
And
of
then
that.
there's my job, and then there's my boss. I'm like triple nervous.
Molatelo, do you have a side gig or a backup hobby that you can generate income from?
Look, I really need my job, Simon. So
This is where the begging and pleading happens. All right, let's take a look at the leaderboard. So in first place with 28 points, we've got Christelle, followed by John, Lerato, and Langa, all on 24 points. In joint fifth place, we've got Masichaba and Katuchelo on 22 points. And carrying the bottom of the league right now, we've got Priya, Simon, and Molatelo. Couple of bonus points, could see those in the bottom half of the table moving all the way up to the top. All right, your next question. The term increased cost of working includes the reasonable extra cost of A, temporary repair of damaged property of the insured and overtime, B, expediting the replacement of such damaged property, C, extra cost of express or other rapid means of transportation, or D, all of the above. Your time is up. The correct answer was D, all of the above. 10 out of 12 people got that answer correct. And Priya takes those bonus points. Well done, Priya. That moves you off the bottom of the table.
Thank you, Simon.
Was your strategy to confuse your fellow competitors by thinking that you're not a threat?
I'm just using the favorite high school strategy.
What was that?
All of the above.
If you don't know what the answer is, you go with all of the above. All right, well, it worked for you that time. Next question. Who is the head of Auto and General Insurance? Is it Robert Sobukwe, Ricardo Kutsia, Alex Teblanche, Nonkululeko Maninjwa? Get those answers in. And the correct answer was B, Ricardo Kutsia. There were only 3 correct answers. And Molatelo redeems herself by recognizing who her actual boss is.
I know whose hands my job is.
Your fate rests in Ricardo's hands, so you remembered his name. Well done. Christelle,
Yes,
you chose Robert Sobukwe.
it was an accident. I meant to press B, okay?
It was, I'm seeing now there are accidents, mistakes, and getting things wrong. What is the difference between an accident and a mistake?
Well, it's the same thing. It's the same thing, okay? Don't ask difficult questions like that now. I already feel bad enough.
Are you familiar with Robert Sobukwe, Christelle?
Actually, no.
ANC struggle veteran. All right, Christelle, let's move on. The industry standard time excess for cover of the public supply of electricity, water, gas, or telecom services to clients' business premises is A, 8 hours, B, 24, C, 2, or D, 72 hours. lock those answers in. And the correct answer was B, 24 hours. 7 of you knew that. But the fastest response there, and welcome to the game, John. John, did you just arrive?
No, I've been there.
Were you somewhere?
I've just been getting it right, just not being the first.
Oh, quietly sort of moving your way up the table, but not with those bonus points.
Yeah, stealth mode.
All right, well done for getting those bonus points. All right, let's take a look at that leaderboard. In first place, and thanks to those bonus points, we've got John with 46. In second place, we have Christelle with 40 points. In third place, Molatelo, who gets to keep her job, it looks like, with 38 points. In fourth place, with 34 points, veteran Masachaba. And then in joint fifth, we've got Lerato, Nelesiwe, and Simon, all on 30 points. Remember, the lowest score from the leaderboard today gets eliminated. And at this point in time, we have Priya on just 16 points. Not safe at all. All right, let's move on to the next question. Prevention of access will be covered within how many kilometer radius of the insured's premises and territorial limitation? Is it A, 15 kilometers, B, 100, C, 5, or D, 50 kilometers? The correct answer was A, 15 kilometers. 7 of you got that answer correct. The fastest correct answer, Katuchelo. I think these are your first bonus points that you've secured.
I have to come back in the game, Simon.
Yeah, it's not too late.
Ish.
All right, well, let's hope that's enough to keep you safe today. John, things perhaps not going so well for you now as we move into these last few questions.
No, it was my first wrong one, so yeah, I'll take it on the chin. And
John, did you get that question about the auto and general product called coffee correct?
oh no, yeah, sorry, apologies, my second one. That was the first one. Apologies. You just had to remind me, Simon.
Guys, we need to audit John's comments here. What did he tell us the other day? This was his 15th time on the Insurance Apprentice out of 8 episodes, something like that. We're going to keep an eye on you, John.
At this stage, it's all a blur.
All right, let's move on to the next question. Which type of products help replace the income that is lost when a company is forced to close for a period of time? Is it A, business interruption insurance, B, contingent business interruption insurance, C, not one that helps 100%, or is it D, A and C? The correct answer, only 3 of you got this correct, was D, which was the combo of A and C. All right, and the fastest correct answer was Priya. Priya, I wonder if that is enough to get you out of that danger zone. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
I guess we have to wait and see, Simon.
All right, well, let's take a look at that final leaderboard. So in the top 3, we have Molatelo in first place, followed by John and Christelle tied on 46 points, and Masachaba coming into that 4th spot with 40 points. Moving down to the bottom of the table, which is where all of the action has been taking place. All very tightly contested. We've got Lerato, Nelesiwe, Neo, Wayne, and Langa hovering around at that bottom rung of the table. Who goes home today? Langa, regrettably, your business here on the Insurance Apprentice has been catastrophically interrupted. Not by a pandemic or lockdown, but rather by poor preparation and erratic risk management. You are dismissed. All right, to our remaining 11 contestants, congratulations, you made it.
Thank you, Simon.
Thank you, Simon.
Woohoo!
I just want to highlight, of course, It was very, very tight at the bottom of the table. Priya, you left it very late to come back into the game. It was looking like a foregone conclusion that you'd be leaving. If you're going to stay in this game, you can't wait until the last moment.
I know, Simon. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful for the opportunity. Let's hope it gets better.
Bolatelo,
My job was on the line.
you might even get a promotion now.
Hey, I hope you heard. Do you want to say that again? So
From my
voice
lips to
really
God's ears, as they say. Yeah. Right, coming up, we meet our judges and our contestants are thrown in the deep end with a brand new challenge, one that's not recommended for the feeble-minded or the faint-hearted. The Insurance Apprentice continues after the break.
When business stops with a jolt, we promise you'll speak to a knowledgeable advisor. And if we break any of our promises to you, we'll pay you 500 Rand.
And we're back. In our quest to find the Insurance Apprentice, we invite our esteemed judges to the panel to inflict even more pain on the contestants. I'd like to welcome this week's episode sponsor from Telesure Investment Holdings, the Executive Head of Business Insurance, VAPs and Distribution, Alex Tablanche. Alex, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Simon.
How long have you been in insurance?
Exactly 12 years now. I started off as an actuarial graduate and
Jeez, I'm so sorry I made those actuarial jokes earlier.
having been in the actuarial industry, we do get used to them. And since then, I've been involved in the insurance industry in personal and commercial lines business.
Okay, well, apparently actuaries make the insurance world go round, so welcome.
Thank you.
And last but not least, I'd like to welcome back our resident judge for the season, the Managing Director of Zonrisk and former Insurance Apprentice winner, Knox Dlamini.
Thanks, Simon. I never get tired of hearing that.
Well, welcome. Knox, I have had quite possibly 18 months of therapy, maybe close on 2 years, nothing to do with lockdown, but all to do with that fatal post. I hate Judge Dredd. For those of you that don't know, that's me. Hate him, crying, sweating face, upset face emoji. I hope you organized counseling after this year's competition. I know did you apologize actually on the last season?
I'm getting deja vu because I think we went through this exact thing last year.
I don't feel like we resolved anything though. I'm still feeling very hurt by this.
Well, Simon, I'm vegetarian, so I don't do beef. So let's just keep it for the contestants.
No beef today. All right, well, welcome back, Knox.
Thank you.
I know you'll be providing valuable insight. You've been exactly where our competitors are today, and you know the pressure that they're under. So now for the ultimate challenge. And this is, of course, one that will prove or disprove the contestant's hopeful claim to become this year's winner. And it's time for premium presentation. In premium presentation, the contestants are divided into two groups. They received info packs earlier this morning, and now, following a brief from our episode sponsor, each team will be given 5 minutes in a private breakaway room to construct a spot presentation using their collaborative insurance expertise. Each team will have just 5 minutes to present, which must be divided equally amongst all contestants. If the team's presentation is poor or deviates from the brief, the judges may hit the buzzer at any time. But the contestants must continue. However, if a team gets 3 buzzers, they will have to stop their presentation immediately. After each presentation, the teams will receive feedback from the judges. We will then deliberate amongst ourselves and decide on the losing team, whereafter the weakest link will be sent packing. I'll now hand over to our guest judge, Alex, for this week's task.
Good day, contestants, and good luck with the task. The South African tourism sector has been significantly impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. International border closures resulted in a large revenue loss for businesses. However, your employer decided to remove the cover on all new and existing policies relating to COVID-19 and the possible future pandemic under business interruption. The insurer has recently been approached by a local industry body who represents 40% of the small to medium-sized hotel and bed and breakfast institutions in South Africa on a possible insurance solution for pandemic cover. The executive team of your insurer has tasked you to come up with a possible solution to address the immediate need of cover against future pandemics. List the stakeholders to consider in your approach. Look at the risk acceptance and premium rating criteria you will use, reinsurance and risk transfer solutions, and your product proposal. And lastly, opportunities and risks relating to the launch of your product.
Thanks, Alex. So now that you've heard the brief, you'll be split into teams as follows. In Team A, we've got Simon, John, Molatelo, Priya, and Nelisiwe. And in Team B, we'll have Wayne, Neo, Christelle, Lerato, Masechaba, and Katuchelo. Your preparation time starts now. Alex, why this topic?
Simon, it's a very relevant topic. I think tourism remains a very important part of the South African economy. It is a part of our economy that really suffered significantly during the pandemic, and small business owners that relied on international tourism were specifically hard hit by the pandemic.
So, annual financial statements, and considering the fact that it's high severity but low frequency, obviously our premiums have to be higher.
Under government, can you maybe in brackets put in public health? Because they're the biggest government exposure with pandemic.
Obviously, balancing, doing the right thing in terms of, society and making sure that the economy keeps going, balancing that with, what's actually achievable for an insurance company. That's the real challenge.
So we also have hotels which are closer to the beach, and then you have to consider lodges which are closer to your bush areas. So when you are calculating your premiums, then there should be an underwriting criteria somewhere there.
But remember, guys, we're doing for diseases. We're not doing general BI.
If there was another pandemic, are we assuming that it would be
public health?
Health?
So they need to come in because they were the biggest risk with the previous pandemic.
And what we would like to see the contestants do is to think beyond the box, think beyond a siloed insurer, a single player in the market, and perhaps look at how the industry could lobby amongst
like
themselves.
A pool of sorts.
Correct.
Can we now say we only accept small industries with so much turnovers, or how are you gonna differentiate between who to accept and who to not accept into this program or into this product?
Okay. Somebody has an idea?
We mentioned a SASRIA approach.
Did you have a lot of hospitality clients that were affected by this?
Not a lot. So about 2 SME clients in the hospitality sector, and to see the devastating real life impact, because obviously as brokers, we hold that relationship with the client. So there's definitely a need for something like this to be developed. I don't see how those clients would survive in future if something like this did occur again.
This is a trap. I'm going to be honest. They keep on saying certain things here. Nobody's going to take it, and there's no premium that's going to be enough to accept this risk. That's why we diversify and we have to change our approach.
No, wait, I'm not doing the presentation.
I'm doing a presentation, so there's some multitasking.
It's a very good concept, but I just think that to get the government involved in a new product, it's going to be difficult, and that's what they're going to throw at us.
I think, guys, let's stay away from involving the government for now.
I know what's going on.
Scared we're going to run out of time.
So am I concluding and putting everything together?
No, wait. On the risk acceptance and premium rating criteria, claims handling expenses, what do you mean by that?
All right, well, let's see how these contestants are going to do with this amazing task. All right, your time is up. Team A, you're up first. Take it away.
Thank you, Simon, and thank you, executives. As you're aware, we have been approached by a local body who represents about 40% of the small to medium-sized businesses in the tourism industry on the availability of business interruption cover against pandemics. They are of the view that it is an absolute necessity for small to medium-sized businesses, especially in South Africa's hospitality industry, to have this cover. After doing our research, we agree with them. As you're aware, SMEs play a critical role in the world, and as presented in the statistics, that they have about 95% of all businesses are SMEs in the world. If we bring this a bit closer to home, in South Africa, SMEs contribute to about 22% on turnover, and it's especially more critical for them in the current unemployment figures that is currently happening in South Africa, which is in excess of 30%. We are therefore of the view that this is something that we really need to pay attention to and find a solution to, and we'll now be looking at ways of how we want to do it or plan to do it. Thank you.
Guys, your time is running out. I suggest you pick up the pace.
Okay, list of stakeholders of the considerations is SME, the tourism sector, Sasria, reinsurance. Yeah, that's our list of stakeholders.
Okay, let me
just click on the screen. Simon, click on the screen.
Sorry about that.
Right, cool. So when it comes to risk acceptance and premium ratings, we considered the fact that this is high severity, but very, very low frequency. So we said that we'd consider looking at the annual financial statements when it comes to, rating the premiums. Would also obviously check balance sheets, annual financial statements. We would also look at the loss of revenue. Obviously, what COVID has also proven is that it affected financial markets as well. So it's going to be difficult to recover because it does not only just affect the business. And yeah, I think those are my points.
Yeah.
I'm going to have
onto reinsurance. This is where we're really going to need the support of reinsurers. As we are aware, they currently aren't able to offer this cover. But I do think that if we provide this value proposition to some of the reinsurers, that we will be able to convince them to partake in this solution. So what we recommend is that we look at a Protoshare reinsurance program. And this will enable the insurer to take over the first part of the loss. And that could be, for example, the first 50 million or first 100 million. And that provide reinsurers with some kind of comfort that the insurer is then in this. So it's in the interest of the insurer to do well. And they are willing to come to the party as well. Yeah, so we'll go on to the proposal.
The product proposal that we have suggested is the business insurance with extension of contagious diseases cover. This will assist should the company stop running in terms of paying assisting with the employees, keeping them on payroll, as well as to pay the expenses.
At no point in history has such an incident occurred where businesses in almost 200 countries have been paralyzed due to a common factor. Only time will tell the full impact of COVID-19 on the global business scenario. The landscape of hospitality could possibly change forever. In order to stay relevant, we must find creative ways to secure our industry. And it is therefore with this proposal that we bring to you the opportunities and the risk of bringing back the product. Some of the opportunities are being the market leaders and being the first of its kind in the industry, and obviously allowing competitors to follow on. Gives us the opportunity to have an impact on the lives of what truly matters to our customers. We get to be part of a global cause to get to offer relief in the time of stress and uncertainty. And this is what matters the most. And this is what insurance truly stands for. And this is how we would change the perception of insurance being a grudge purchase into something that's helping and changing the economy and the lives of our clients. Some of the risks that we face with this is we do understand there's not enough data in terms of the precedence of a pandemic or of a commutable disease. And therefore, this could
All right, your time is up. Thank you, Priya. Yeah. It was like watching someone trying to herd cats. It was quite difficult to follow. I'm going to hand over to Alex, being the task sponsor, for some questions.
The fact remains that, given the question setting, that no reinsurance is currently available, and that the current insurer has taken out the cover from their current product suite. So I was hoping to see that we look at perhaps collaborating with other insurers or with government to manage that risk transfer. The one thing that I do recognize that Priya mentioned was the fact that the industry has got a social responsibility to offer insurance product and risk transfer solutions to markets that are in need of those.
We as market leaders need to convince them that pandemics are something of the future. And if we are the market leader now and bring on our competitors, and show them that it is actually relevant cover, because SMEs form the heart of our economy. So I think if we be market leaders and we bring on our competitors, we would have something to take to the reinsurer.
Simon, with regards to the stakeholders that you mentioned, can you just, explain to us what their roles would be in your engagements and what you'd be hoping to get from them?
Okay, the SMEs is the client, the main purpose or the main thing is around them. And the tourism sector body, without the clients, the tourism sector body won't be there. And the clients, their Sasria. With Sasria, I mean, can we use them? Can they incorporate? Can they work with us to maybe take it and put it on them side, or what we can do? And the reinsurer is to sit down with and talk to them to look at a different model for parametric insurance, or what can we do, or maybe to put in a stop loss, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
How do you believe business interruption currently, as it is in its market standard form in South Africa, is working or not working for the industry?
That is a good question. There needs to be more to be done for SMEs and more support for them. One of the requirements, for example, is financial statements. And your small business that has only one or two people employing them does not have the affordability to have audits and financial statements. And they really almost, as money comes in, money goes out. And really, BI should be able to accommodate those type of businesses. And at the moment, I'm not sure if it really accommodates them as well as it could be.
So you've just mentioned the fact that these businesses do have challenges with reporting, but your product requires them to have financial statements. So are you contradicting yourself?
Yeah, I think we might be contradicting what we said earlier.
Any insurer in the market could give this cover, but whether they could do so without exposing their own balance sheets, the scrutiny that they would come under from the Prudential Authority, as to whether or not they can carry losses by giving this sort of cover, I think those are all the challenges that I don't think you've actually dealt with.
Perhaps a better alternative to covering the interruptions, instead of it being monetary, but perhaps looking at the specific struggles that the SME faces, like rent and maybe such things. Like perhaps it doesn't make sense, but maybe where instead of them having to pay rent during that time, but we offer this facility for them to have their products there, and that cuts that extra cost of having to pay rent.
Nelisiwe, you've been very quiet, and I'm going to give you the opportunity now. I mean, what is your take on all of this?
My take on the whole thing was to approach the government, especially when it comes to, like Sesra, it is a coupon, and working with the insurance companies that can be added on as a coupon and be ready next time to face such issues.
Okay, thank you. How do how do insurers deal with these very widespread accumulation risks normally, the ones that can't be reinsured, like war or terrorism or nuclear disasters? Did you think about that?
No, we didn't.
It's possible that the model you're looking for already exists. You just didn't think about tapping into how it's applied in a different environment. And I think that could very well cost you. But we'll hear the other group's presentation. All right, thank you for that, Team A. Team B, your time starts now.
Thank you, judges. Myself and my team today will be looking at a possible solution to the need of cover against a pandemic aimed at small to medium enterprises in the hospitality industry. I'll be looking at a list of stakeholders to consider when actually providing this product to the client. We look at things such as the communities, employees, government, competitors, and business associations. The product needs to be of such a manner that the client, or the customer rather, receives a product or service that is up to standard. We also need to make sure that the investors, should a pandemic arise and everything has settled, they actually have the appetite to come back and reinvest in that product and within our company. We also look at the local communities that will actually be wanting a service rendered from us. We need to make sure that where they are based, will they be able to get our product? Will it be sufficient? And should anything result in a reduction or cancellation, then the product should kick in and be able to cover the client for such. Thank you.
All right, I'll be speaking about risk acceptance and premium rating criteria. The risk premium would largely rely on claim frequency. As it's not something that we see happen every day, a pandemic is not something that happens every day, that should be taken into account when calculating the premium. We would also look at the business size. As we are trying to get this product to fit a specific industry, a specific client as such, we would have to take the business size into account. The claims handling expenses will largely contribute to the premium rating, as well as the effect of deductibles and effect of excess of loss of reinsurance. Obviously, we won't be able to do this without reinsurance buy-in, as the risk can be quite large. Loading for contingencies, we will have to look at the risk as an entirety. By this, we will make use of risk management tools in order to get us the correct premium rating and risk acceptance.
With regards to the reinsurance and the risk transfer, we are looking at possibilities of creating a self-captive and for the industry body itself, allowing the various businesses to buy into the cell, and this will allow us as the insurers to have communication starts with the reinsurers and have them look into reinsuring this type of product. Furthermore, with the self-captive in place, the insured will also have benefits and enjoy any investment returns in that regard.
Good day, board. I'd like to present the product. We believe that we've come across a product that is trend-setting, very likewise similar to what Sasria did during the 1970 riots, where nobody wanted the appetite. We believe that we can use what the industry is providing. When 40% of the body presents itself to us, we can use that as leverage to create a product that is exclusive to OTA in general. And in the market, we can use that to our advantage, where we will focus solely on the contingency business interruption part of it and only cover insurers clients for that, with a product that is only available from us. And I'll also hand over to Lorato to explain further.
Good day, judges. With Pimbisa, our pandemic business interruption product, we are hoping that we would take such products like our travel insurance, our hotel rates and bookings, plane ticket costs, and maybe even just take a slight levy from those products in order to make sure that we can start also adding to a fund. Just as Wayne had advised earlier, that a Sasria type product here is what we're looking for in order to make sure that we are building a fund for future events. We are building a fund for anything that would happen, but making sure that it's a social insurance initiative where we all put money in the bag. I'll hand over to Masechaba.
By being the first to provide any product in a market, you capture market share so quickly. And what you also get to do is to
I'm sorry, team, your time is up. Masechaba, the irony of this is not lost on me. Nao and Christelle kind of ate quite a bit into the time here. I think between the two of you used up half of the time that was available for the whole team. I think you've prejudiced one of your team members here, at least one of your team members, and we'll have to see whether that actually counts against you. Let's get into the content. Alex?
So what I thought of this presentation, is actually a pity that the contestants couldn't get through the presentation. There were some good concepts that you latched on. The fact that you went beyond just the insurer that's looking at the problem and recognized that a pooling mechanism in the industry would be required in order to achieve something like that with no reinsurance being available. And so I wanted to have seen perhaps a little bit more specific application to pandemic cover and do it in a way that's simple so that you can get through it in your allowed time slot.
Yeah, I think Masechaba was going to tell us about the risks relating to the launch of the product, and we didn't get to hear that. So, that's obviously an outstanding feature of the presentation. I don't know if we're going to give her a chance to do that.
Masechaba?
Okay, we are focusing on a specific sector, which is hospitality. And by doing so, we stand a chance of marginalizing some of our other existing customers as an insurer who are in other markets, because although other businesses were not as badly impacted by COVID-19, they were also impacted in some way or other. So customers could feel that the insurer no longer cares about them as a customer and is focusing on this one sector.
And
speaking to, yes.
What are the current challenges you believe of business interruption cover as it's generally being offered in the South African insurance market?
I think the biggest challenge is a lack of understanding of what the cover is and what people should be insured for. What I see on a day-to-day working with business interruption claims is that the biggest thing is under insurance and the indemnity period.
I feel like you just had an opportunity to wrap it all up in a bow, Masechaba, and you didn't. So I think the talk of the cell captive, I think Wayne may have mentioned it, and then you started expanding on it. Who owns this cell captive? I wasn't clear on that. Is it a collective, or how does it work?
It will be the collective of the body, the industry body. So remember, it's made of all the smaller members, the smaller businesses. They will make it will be a collective amongst themselves.
Do you think reinsurers are going to be keen to support business interruption for pandemic?
It can go either way, but now with pandemics, they don't happen very often. So they might be looking at the premium income as a motivation for them to accept this list.
Can I clean up that answer for you somewhat?
Please.
It can't go either way. They've already withdrawn the cover, so you don't have the reinsurance support. So without that element, what is the solution?
Our discussion and speaking to what Wayne had mentioned is that pulling in government creates the Sasria back foot, Tajra gave us a great template. It was an idea where we could put government in as a stakeholder, even if they don't have majority share. But the saying on everywhere is that government is the insurer of last resort. And what we plan to do here is, if everything always boils down to government, then what we need to do is pull them in another kind of product, but basically have them maybe not steer the ship, but buy in some way, shape or form. And that is why it's also part of the social insurance idea.
But now referring back to the stakeholder list, could you perhaps try and tell us, out of that list that you've mentioned, who do you think should be paying or contributing towards this fund?
I think the main contributors definitely should be the investors and the government.
If the government is then funding this, are you saying that essentially government should be clawing this back on taxes?
To a certain extent. They should just pick a chair in the ship and also sit in.
I see you shuffling around uncomfortably here, like you've got some wise words to spew forth.
Just trying to understand that cop-out response, but I'll let it go. In insurance, we have the premise that a few losses are paid for out of the premiums of the many. In a pandemic, you're almost guaranteeing payouts. So how are you going to ensure viability of this product and maintain its affordability aspect for the SMEs?
Ooh.
So if I can jump in there and take a swing at it, just try jab. I would like to believe that I think it all goes down to investment as well, right? Initially, we're going to come and pull in all this money, but it can't just sit there. It needs to grow. I believe that if everything was pulled in correctly and the investment was done correctly, we would be able to actually take all of those interest portions and plow them back into the fund in order for it to grow.
There's also the key word that it's about future pandemics, not the current one. Future pandemics can exclude, like all insurers at this moment, will exclude the SARS virus or any variant of it. So it wouldn't be applicable to Corona as it is now. It will only be applicable to future pandemics.
Guys, there's a very simple answer to that question. Just limit the payout per insured, right?
But your question, if I may challenge that, was that they've already made these huge sums of payments, right? The source was trying to help these businesses stay afloat. At the time, you may have given someone else 5 Rand for what you're willing to give someone else a Rand for. But if a business is about to fall apart, we can't shy away from that.
Lerato, I appreciate challenges when they're correct. But, my question was based on the historical data that we have, which is what the products will be based on. So,
what we can also do to manage affordability for SMEs is to, within the product itself, allow room for them to choose the amount of cover you want, the time frame you want it for, and maybe get certain time delay excesses in there. Yeah. Different cover for different people. That's what I'm trying to say.
I'd just like to understand, in some parts of your presentation, Wayne, I think you may have mentioned it, you were talking exclusivity, and then in other parts of the conversation we've discussed some kind of fund. So what is it that you're proposing? I mean, is this a product that we as an insurer launch, or is it a fund that's kind of launched at industry level?
Simon, this is what we're suggesting. We as Auto General, we are the exclusive underwriter for this product. Nobody else in the market is offering this product. However, we're offering it in conjunction with the support from the government and all the SMEs in the tourism sector.
So just to get clarity, it means that the balance sheet of Auto General is at risk for this product and not the government.
As the underwriter, yes. However, as I've mentioned earlier, you're going to have conversation with the reinsurers to get them on board and try and convince them to start writing this type of risk.
I feel like I'm going around in a circle here.
Okay, can I just wrap that up?
Yeah.
So are you first
Please
to
wrap.
market, or are you fighting for a legislated exclusivity mandate? Either or. Either or. I don't need a story. I've heard them. First to market.
Just
Okay, thank you.
All right, guys. I think we've heard enough. Thanks for your contribution and for the chuckles. All right, we'll deliberate and get back to you. That was, I've said it in prior seasons, but a very low heap. So who was a little higher up on the low heap?
Simon, I think one team completely missed the point and was not able to bring across the most important aspects of this problem and what it could mean going forward. The other team did a good job at, I think, outlining some of the key things we wanted them to recognize, but struggled to communicate succinctly their message to what they wanted to achieve.
Knox, you were particularly brutal there with some of the contestants.
I think there were gems coming through and they were getting so close, but then just missing the mark. But yeah, I mean, you talk about giving credit. There's a group here that we cannot give any credit whatsoever.
Did anyone jump out for you as being amazing today? I mean, who do you think was kind of top?
I'm inclined to go there.
Yeah.
Even though, some of the questions did just, miss the mark slightly, but in terms of articulating what it is that they were proposing, it was at that point that it sort of all came together for me.
Are you able to identify our exit candidate today? Is it obvious to you who would have to leave the competition today, Alex?
Simon, I do think so. Looking at the team who we believe did not come forward as the team who actually got some of the concepts right, in fact, was in a bit of disarray. Looking at the one individual who was part of that team, definitely.
If you put yourself out there and you take a risk and you answer a question, yes, you are likely to be the one that goes. But this one here, I looked at my notes and I wrote something and then I crossed it out and I couldn't remember any other sort of, I couldn't remember any meaningful contribution. Is it fair to say, well, okay, you made an effort and you were wrong and you're going, and because you didn't really make an effort and you didn't contribute to anything, you're actually safe? Where we are right now is we've got one candidate that could potentially be eliminated from this group for making some incorrect statements. And then we have another candidate who could go home today because the contribution to the discussion was really poor and just kind of faded into the background. But I think we know what we need to do about this. So, yeah, we're in agreement then.
Yes.
Okay. All right, let's get them back in here. Right, thank you, teams. Those presentations were not very good. I'm speaking to both groups here, although I do think that one was marginally better than the other, which is a relief for us. So I'm going to hand over to Alex now, just to give us a few of the things that he picked up on.
Thank you, Simon. Generally, I think we were disappointed by the one team who really struggled to find their way to the key concept of what we were looking for. We saw a slightly better presentation from the other team who were able to identify some of the key aspects that we're looking for. In this particular instance, the unfortunate thing of this team was that they struggled to find cohesion in the way that they communicated the message to the judges, in that the concepts were not particularly aligned as we went from individual to individual in the team in doing the presentation. So that's
Thank you. Thanks, Alex. That's great. Knox.
Guys, while we can appreciate the fact that, as an industry, we do have a social responsibility as risk carriers and risk managers, I think we should caution against using real life examples to support a narrative that isn't entirely correct. So just remember that Sasria is run as a business, and a sustainable business at that. So it's not a social fund that just gives out money. And we should caution against using an example to that effect.
Thanks, Knox. From me, I think there was a lot of old thinking that was being presented. And it's been shown that, collaborative initiatives are often more sustainable. The risk is obviously spread. And whether that involves multiple insurers working together or public-private partnerships, I think that I would have liked to have seen more about that. That to me represents the future of insurance generally and business in South Africa. So it's unfortunate that we didn't get to that. What I can tell you is that Wayne, Neo, Christelle, Lerato, Masechaba, and Katuchelo, today you guys are safe. Team B, you did pull it together. I think it was a little bit erratic. Alex is already, I think his comments will make more sense to you now that you know you're not in the losing group. To Team A, this was kind of the giant dumpster fire next to the fireworks factory alongside a gasoline refinery, just waiting to explode. Of course, we have to decide who goes home today. We did find this quite difficult today, and I'll tell you why. And I guess it's something that we, even as employers in the industry, do you penalize someone who is wrong in their thinking or may have articulated their ideas incorrectly? Do you penalize that person, or do you penalize the person who made very little contribution to the discussion and in fact just kind of sank into the background? And so where we find ourselves is having two people that we feel we need to make a decision. One of those two needs to leave today. And as you will have known from previous seasons, the best way for us to do this is actually by a vote. So we have in our bottom two, the two candidates who are likely to be voted out today. One was Simon. And Simon, you are the candidate that we felt made some suggestions and articulated some ideas that we felt weren't technically correct. So you put yourself out there, but the ideas were not correctly put forward. And then on the other hand, we have Nelisiwe. So we just felt that your contribution was very, very questionable today. And again, I don't think it's fair for someone to be safe just because they didn't contribute, rather than the person who was incorrect but did make a contribution. So John, Molatelo, and Priya, I'd like you to take a piece of paper and write down the name of the person that you think should leave the competition today. All right, so you've all written the name of the person that you think should be leaving the competition today. John, can we see your vote, please? That's one vote for Nelisiwe. Molatelo, can we see your vote, please? One vote for Simon. Priya, you have the casting vote today. Let's see who you voted for.
I can't, Simon. It's one of the hardest things that I've ever had to do. And I think I'm getting a taste of what it feels like to be on your side of the table now. And I don't want to.
Priya, you have to make a decision. Otherwise, you might be the one leaving. Can we see your vote, please? Nelisiwe. Nelisiwe, you came into this competition to make a point, right? I respect that. Unfortunately, it's the lack of points that are sending you home today. Goodbye. All right, teams. Simon, you escaped that one, as they say, by the skin of your teeth. I think there's a lesson here to be learned by all of you. And Team B, even though you were the winners today, there were some of you that were also not really contributing to the discussion today. So if we had chosen your team as the loser, you would have been going home purely by just not making a meaningful contribution to the team. Well done though to Team B. I think you definitely had the more cohesive presentation today. I think there were some good points in there, and as we said, it would have been nice if you had a bit more time to elaborate, and you really need to get your timekeeping under control. Other than that, congratulations. And that leaves us with 10 contestants who are still in the running for the Insurance Apprentice title. Right now, it's anyone's game. All right, I'd really like to thank my fellow judges. Alex, it's been an absolute pleasure having you with us.
Thank you, Simon.
Great task and good contribution.
Thank you very much. It's been great to be here.
Wonderful. And Knox, of course, without you, this would be a lot more fun. Many thanks to our episode sponsor, Auto & General, as well as the studio sponsor, Old Mutual Insure. Thank you to our wonderful viewers very much for tuning in. Continue to watch every episode of The Insurance Apprentice to stand a chance to win your share of cash prize giveaways. Simply like our page and share each episode on Facebook, and of course answer that weekly question. This week's question is, which insurance company is offering this year's winner a corporate photo shoot? And remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and stand a chance to win. Come back next week to see who'll advance one step closer to becoming the Insurance Apprentice. From myself, Simon Coleman, and my co-judge, my favorite co-judge, Knox Dlamini, goodbye.